Hello everyone and welcome to week 9. This video clip will cover the learning objectives, the assignments for the week, as well as the lecture will be provided. And so remember a few weeks ago I was talking to you about uh, strategic planning, the strategic planning function and the marketing function in an organization and how they work hand in hand and they both need each other. Well, you'll really get an appreciation for that this week as we go through market share and market analyses as well as financial forecasting. We'll look at bond ratings this week. What are bond ratings? Who administers bond ratings? And what do they mean for health services organizations, specifically within the context of planning? We'll also look at trends around facility construction and how new facilities are being constructed and and the patient experience. Remember, patient experience used to be around uh, the bedside manners and the room was clean and the physician spoke to me and they used my name. That's important, right? But patient experience is much more broad. It's every interface that the patient has with the organization, from when they park their car to when they register. Were the bathrooms clean? Did people speak to me? Were they organized? All of that is the patient experience, and that is how uh, health services organizations are being evaluated. And this especially affects hospitals because these scores are now publicly accessible, and it's driving the market. And so people have access to information in ways that they never had it before. So there's a document that I'm assigning for you to read. It's an advisory board document. It's really I think it's like 76 pages. You don't need to read the entire document. I just want you to uh, pick up on some of the trends and how facilities are being constructed. That's your takeaway. If I ask you what are some of the trends around how facilities are being designed, you should be able to tell me that. All right, so I kind of jumped the gun a little bit. Let's go to assignments. Uh, the lecture, obviously, you'll need to view the lecture, which is in this video clip. There's a not-for-profit health rating methodology. I think that's just a Wikipedia link that speaks to bond ratings and what bond ratings are, and you can see the different types of grading methodologies. I've also provided you with some market share data. It's an Excel spreadsheet. It's just a lot of data. I just want you to see what a market share analysis looks like for a region. And I've used our own hospital, Washington Hospital Center data. That data, I think it was from 2007, so it's cool. I wouldn't provide you with data for 2013 because again, we try and keep that we keep that confidential. But I've shared with you the 2007 data so that you can see. And then the facility planning and consumerism, that's the document I was just speaking of. I think it's 70 something pages. Again, your goal is your takeaway should be what are the trends around how new facilities are being designed. And there's an interesting clip I want you to see. Holy Cross Hospital, which isn't too far from us in College Park, is has developed an ER specifically for its senior population. They recognized as part of their planning process that there was going to be a heck of a lot of seniors in their service area, and they need to be sure that they're ready to provide the best care for those populations, for that population. And so they've developed an ER specifically for seniors. I think you'll find that interesting. All right, so let's go to our lecture. All right, so what I've provided you here is the California individual health insurance market share. And I just want you to see what this can look like visually. These are the different health providers or health insurance providers in California. All right, 2011 is on the left, 2014 is on the right. You see here, and you can, oh boy, sorry. All right, and so what you see here is a difference. There's a change in market share between the two. You see this new player. There's a new kid on the block here. I think it's called HealthNet that wasn't on the block in 2011, and you see how that has impacted market share. So basically what this translates to, you see 37% here on the left-hand side. In 2011, Anthem Blue Cross of California had 37% of the market. So that was, remember, market share has to be based on a time period. So they just used this could be calendar year or it could be fiscal year, I don't know. But a 12-month period in 2011, that particular insurance provider captured 37% of the market. All right. And you can see how it changed in 2014. I think everyone actually, well, Blue Shield of California actually gained market share in 2014, but you do have this new player, HealthNet, which in 2014 represents, or this may be a projection of 16% of the market. This is important information to be aware of because in planning you may want to, as part of your plan, obviously it may be around increasing market share. And so you need to know who your competitors are, and you need to know what they're doing differently and how you can change to capture more market share. And that's what competitive intelligence is all about, and I think we talk about that next week. So what is market share? Remember, market share can be analyzed by dollar amounts, or it can be analyzed by the percentage of users. And it's calculated by taking in this example, they're giving you, it's calculated by taking the company's sales over the period and dividing it by the total sales of the industry over the same period. This metric is used to give a general idea of the size of a company is to its market and its competitors. All right. And so what I've provided you here is an example. I've actually just pulled this from the document, the Excel document that is a hyperlink for you for this week. And you can see this is Washington Hospital Center in the District of Columbia. So this is just based on our hospital. And these are the different service lines, right? And so you can see in calendar year 06 for behavioral, I think that's 1,535 individuals that were served. And in 2007, it was 1,663. And so the market share changed 8.3% between those 2 years. So we increased in market share by 8.3%. Okay. And so you can just go down and you can see where we're doing well, and we've lost market share in cardiac services between those 2 years. So the question is, what I would want to know as a planner is what happened? Why did we lose market share? And that's something, an answer that we need to know the answer to that. And so this is just an example so that you can see how an organization can look at this and make some decisions and plan for the future. So you'll see here, overall, it looks like the hospital in 2007 captured 11.8 of the market. So if you take all of these service areas and you just add everything up, we're capturing 11.8% of the market. Is that good? Is that bad? Well, you need a little more information to determine that. All right. And so what this slide shows you is a breakdown by the different hospitals in the region. And we're just looking at one service line, and that's cancer here. And so these are the different hospitals, right? And you can see number of persons served, what percent of the market that represents, and you can do it. So this is 2006, 2007, and then you can see the change. And you can see who's doing well, who's not doing well, and what the trends are. And so you can actually take this and build it out. And so I have a spreadsheet that goes out to 2005 to 2011. You can just continue to go out and you can look for trends over time. But this is just an example of what that looks like. So this is what our leaders are looking at, our planners are looking at when they are making some decisions. Also remember, certificate of need entities look at market share data as part of their decision-making process. The strategy helps prevent saturation of health services. So again, remember, certificate of need, we don't want to oversaturate the market. And so looking at market share and looking at health utilization patterns is really, really important. The market share analysis provided percentages, but that's only part of the story. Planners and marketers need to know the why. Okay, so you can look at that data and it gives you the numbers, and that's fine. But we really want to know why. Why are we either losing market share? Why are we gaining market share? We need answers, and we can only do that through uh, combining quantitative with the qualitative component of our research. And so we can get to those answers by administering surveys to populations that we serve, or we can administer surveys to those who don't come to our organization and we can ask them why. For qualitative research, we can conduct focus groups, interviews, we can have community input meetings. Again, the qualitative component helps us identify trends so that we can plan accordingly. So if we're finding that people are not coming to us because they don't know our mission or they don't think that we don't have a particular service line that we do, then we know we need to put some resources into marketing those service lines. But you have to ask the community these questions. So financial forecasting. A pro forma analysis is simply a financial forecast. It provides a comprehensive outlook of the financial future of the organization. This is really, really important, and you can't run an organization well without this piece, this very, very important piece of work. So they're guided by many assumptions, but they are key to the planning process. And when you're conducting performers, you have to consider everything from cash revenue, depreciation of assets, appreciation of assets, insurance, travel, utilities. You also have to consider inflation, and you may include line items for unanticipated income and/or expenditures, recognizing that things happen. So this is an example of an income statement, a pro forma income statement. And I'm providing this for you so that you can see the complexity and all of the pieces that need to be considered when you're planning out. So this takes you from year 2008, 2008 all the way to 2015. And so the finance team has literally built out the plan or what the forecast is for this particular organization. Obviously, you'll see if you look at the bottom line, things do increase over years. That's normal. It's to be expected. Inflation, cost of living adjustment, things just go up. And so this is important as we think about planning and funding, right? Because we know that if we're conducting a strategic plan, there must be a financial component or that must be integrated in the plan. How do we pay for that? All right, so pro forma analysis is a financial forecast, and it will be important for you to just provide me with some examples of the line items that need to be considered. Let's go into competitive advantage now. So in addition to market share, bond rating is a good indicator of competitive advantage. Obviously, bond ratings represent the credit worthiness of a corporate or government bond. We don't like to say credit rating, but it's almost synonymous with credit. How, what's your bond rating? The greater the bond rating, obviously, this means investors are willing to take risk on you, and you demonstrate the capacity to pay your debt. The stronger the bond rating, the easier it is to get credit, which can be used to reinvest in services to meet the needs of the community. And so there's three rating agencies: Moody, Standard & Poor's, and Fitch. Those are the three rating agencies. And what they're looking at is they're looking at background and history of the organization, industry trends. What about the political or regulatory environment? They're doing their own SWOT analysis. management structure, corporate strategy, philosophy, debt structure, and financial position, including liquidity, cash flow, operating margin, and balance sheet analysis in terms of debt profile and maturity. All of this is part of the formula that helps them rate the organization. And this is the scoring methodology. A AAA bond rating obviously is what every organization strives for. And that simply means most likely translates to you've been evaluated as most likely to pay your debt obligations. And then you can have double A plus or minus, A plus minus, triple B plus minus, all the way down to D. So obviously, if you have a poor bond rating, what does that mean for you? If you're a big healthcare system and you have a poor bond rating, what does that mean about your capacity to grow and reinvest in services to meet the needs of the community? Um, Question: do you think the Moody's and Standard and Poor's and Fitch are concerned about community need? I think they are concerned about community need, but most concerned about your ability to pay your debt. And so if there's extreme community need and you see that forecasting, you see that as part of your forecast, and it's clearly evident that that's going to happen, that the community is going to grow and you're the only game in town, you may have a little better luck, but they really want to be sure that you can pay your debt. So that's the scoring methodology. So remember, competitive advantage, the two big pieces, market share and bond ratings. And Zuckerman speaks to that, I believe, in chapter 3, one of the first few chapters of the week. So I think that's it for now, and enjoy the video clips, and be sure that you take a look at the documents that I've provided you and the facility design, which was released by the advisory board. I think that's really, really interesting to see those trends, and I will see you next week.